Hello y'all, and welcome back. So in the last video we looked at the principle of sufficient reason, the idea that every existing thing has an explanation for its existence. In this video we're going to look at the cosmological argument, or one formulation of it at least. This is a formulation that it's not original with me, but it's my favorite formulation. And it goes like this. First, every existing thing has an explanation for its existence. This is the principle of sufficient reason. I defended it in the previous video. 2. If the universe has an explanation for its existence, that explanation is God. Now you might say, hold on just a second. The first one I accept, the second one, all of a sudden God's here. That went, as we used to say, that went 0 to 100 real quick. But this is actually a much less controversial premise than you might suppose. Now, you might say, well, hold on. No, I don't need God to explain the universe. I have something else. I call it the Big Bang. Big Bang theory. The universe just, boom, popped into being. And here, it's important to clear up something which every single time I see it, basically, in popular culture, and often even in philosophical circles, people get wrong. It's just a misconception. And the misconception is that the Big Bang theory is a theory of the universe that explains the universe without recourse to God. This is simply false. The Big Bang theory is a cosmological model developed on Einstein's equations and a model designed by Friedman and Lemaitre, which holds that the universe had a beginning. So it's a cosmological, that's to say, space-time model in which the universe has a beginning. And it was given the name the Big Bang theory by the Cambridge astronomer Fred Hoyle, who is an avowed atheist, a hardcore atheist, precisely because this theory was so friendly to belief in God. It was so friendly to belief in God because, of course, for centuries atheists had held that the universe had no beginning, because a beginning implies a beginner, something that started it, and that was just too similar to the idea of God. So they held the universe extended forever into the past, infinitely into the past. But our best space-time model in the early 20th century started to show that this was false, that the universe did in fact have a beginning. And so Fred Hoyle, this atheist, gave it this cartoonish nickname. He said, oh, this is the Big Bang theory, huh? Now, the Big Bang theory is a cosmological model according to which the universe had a beginning. Now, you can adopt an atheistic version of this, according to which the universe popped into being uncaused, with no cause or explanation at all, out of absolute blank nothingness. But note what's going on when you do that. When you hold that the universe popped into being with no cause and no explanation at all, you're holding that the universe has no explanation. So go back to the premise we just looked at. If the universe has an explanation for its existence, that explanation is God. What an atheist will do, and this is not a criticism, this is just pointing out the way that the logic works, they'll deny the consequent, and then by modus tollens deny the antecedent. So if there is no God, therefore the universe has no explanation. So the idea that the universe has no explanation is actually much more familiar to atheist ways of thinking than you might suppose. In the words of the famous astronomer Carl Sagan, cosmos is all there ever was, is, or will be. So the universe, the idea goes, is just a brute fact. It's just there. You accept it. If you don't like it, too bad. But you don't try to explain it. There is no explanation. It's just bang, it's there. Make no mistake, though, the Big Bang theory is a cosmological model that is very friendly to belief in God, because, of course, if you don't want to hold the universe popped into being uncaused out of absolute blank nothingness, it's natural to suppose that it popped into being when it was created, and if created, then created by a creator. The point is, the second premise here is actually not that controversial. If you can believe this, the first premise, the principle of sufficient reason, is actually more controversial than the second premise. So, premise number 3. The universe is an existing thing. I take it that this is relatively uncontroversial. Even if you do deny the existence of the universe has to exist even if it's just you. If you say, the universe is just a figment of my imagination, well, at least you exist then. There has to be something existing to have these crazy figments. So the universe is an existing thing. I'm not going to spend too much time arguing that the universe exists. But now look what we have. Principle of sufficient reason. Every existing thing has an explanation for its existence. 2, That's premise 1. Premise 2, if the universe has an explanation for its existence, that explanation is God. Premise 3, the universe exists. Well, when you put 1 and 3 together, every existing thing has an explanation for its existence, and 3, the universe exists, then logically, the universe has an explanation for its existence. So then you combine, that's premise 4 now. So then if you combine that with premise 2, if the universe has an explanation for its existence, that explanation is God. The universe has an explanation for its existence. Therefore, 5, the explanation for the universe is God. Therefore, 6, God exists. Now, in order to deny the conclusion of this argument, you have to deny that the universe exists, or deny premise 2, that if there is an explanation for the universe, that explanation is God, or deny the principle of sufficient reason. Now, if you deny the principle of sufficient reason, all of science and medicine and technology and human thought grinds to a halt overnight. But if you deny the universe exists, you're just a crazy person. So, atheists are often left arguing that there's an alternate explanation to the universe besides God, or defending the idea that there's no explanation to the universe. But then again, that is something that would confirm that second premise, leaving the argument intact. So what we're going to have to do is look at these supposed alternate explanations for the universe, and we'll make a list of those in the next video, and we'll see how they hold up. Thanks.